bit of footage I showed you of me staining the she shed deck. That was 2 months ago, people. I haven't worked in the she shed in over 2 months, I believe. It's October. I don't think I've worked on it since early August. I was also painting some trim for the chicken coop, almost done with that trim project. And I painted the front trim real quick for the man shed. I need to do a second coat on the trim, and then I have to replace that trim. But I'm slowly working on that. So as you can tell, leaves have already fallen. I haven't worked in the she shed in 2 months, people. That's not good. But I want to talk about homesteading and something I'm really good at, and it's also sometimes my downfall. And that is having big dreams and dreaming. I got like 6 different projects happening right now. We're working on the chicken coop. We're hopefully working on the she shed stairs very soon. I have all the supplies to build the stairs. I just gotta find the time to do it. I'm working on the man shed. I'm painting an old trailer red. I gotta work on the pigs' winter shelter. We have a trail system that's being built. And I'm doing all the finishing work to kind of get all the low-hanging branches out for the horses. So yeah, I got 6 or 7 projects. And that's because I like to dream big. That sometimes is my downfall as well, is that, you know, sometimes I can't just focus on one project. And sometimes that's my own personality. Sometimes that's a money thing, right? That's kind of what's holding me back on the she shed, is that I invested, I don't know, a couple $100 in the she shed already for sure. Maybe $400. And that's over a year span. And sometimes I run out of money and I got to save up my money. I'm not one of those famous YouTube homesteaders that's getting a bunch of money from their channel these days. So I gotta, you know, just plan out what I can do and when I can do it. I've been doing a lot of painting lately because a can of paint is pretty cheap. That 1 gallon paint that I had, that white gallon of paint, I used that 1 gallon on my chicken coop trim. I just used it on my man shed a little bit, and I'm also using it on the barn white trim. So that was like a $20 can of paint, and I've used it quite a bit. But to me, the whole point of homesteading is dreaming and making those dreams happen. We've been on our farm for 7 years. Before that, we lived in an apartment, lived in a house. I've had chickens for probably going on 13, 14 years. I've had a garden for a very long time. Even as a kid, we had a garden sometimes. But I think sometimes if you have so many dreams that you can kind of get misdirected. So that's why I'm really trying to not slow down, but I'm trying to focus on my plans, right? I'm trying to get my plans focused and streamlined, trying to work on projects that I've started before I start something else. So even though I got 6 projects going, I'm trying my best not to start anything new, because I want to get these projects done and then move on to something else. When we moved here 7 years ago, this she shed wasn't here, the man shed wasn't there, the chicken coop needed work, a lot of fencing wasn't done. We built 2 running sheds and a hay hut and a garden fence and a tree house. I've made a giant pollinator garden, a riding ring for the horses, trail system. We've done a lot of drainage work. I've stained all the decks. So we've done a lot of foraging in the woods. And when we moved here 7 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about those plans. We weren't thinking about having a she shed or a man shed or anything like that. And I think that's the great thing about dreaming, is that you don't even know what your dreams are sometimes. So yeah, I think that's my greatest skill as a homesteader. Sometimes my biggest downfall is my dreams just keep on expanding, right? I'm hoping this property is going to be big enough for us long term, and I think it will be. And every time we improve it, it's harder and harder to find a property that is better than what we have for our budget. So yeah, I guess just if you're a fan, just leave us a comment, subscribe. I would love to hear your homestead dreams. What are you dreaming about? I started out in a very small backyard on less than 1/10 of an acre with a garden and an orchard and chickens, probably 6 fruit trees. It was crazy. And now I'm on 20 acres, right? So I would love to hear where you're at in your homesteading journey and what your dreams are. And who knows, you might inspire me.